Hi guys, it's April. So I wanted to remake the first video that I made, which was how to not break your fast, um, before your goal time, because I've done that quite a bit, and I was then able to finally do a 7 day. And so I wanted to just share with you how I was able to do that after many failed or broken fasts before that. And I made my first video about that, but because it was my first video, I didn't plan it at all. I didn't write anything down, and I was just kind of winging it and left a lot of stuff out and was rambling. And also, I'm not quite comfortable with being recorded, so I was sort of like a deer in the headlights. So I'm gonna try it again, and hopefully, it has in it whatever the other stuff did, the other video did, and more. So, um, just to give you a history of how it went for me, I started snake dieting, fasting, I think towards the end of December, beginning of January, and I did some 3.5 days multiple times, but anytime I would get to 3.5 days, that's where I would end up breaking my fast, even though I had planned for a 5 day. And then there were other times where once I would refeed and then I would try to go back to it, I would only get a day in or 2 days in, and then convince myself, okay, no, I don't want to do this right now because it's still early. I can eat right now, and then I can start again on Monday, or I can start again on Wednesday, or whatever it happened to be. So then I finally pulled off a 7 day, and since then, it's really helped my self esteem and my confidence in doing this. And so I just want to tell you what got me through that. So, um, first of all, getting mentally prepared. And that means getting mentally prepared before you start your fast, because once you start fasting, it's easy to convince yourself to quit. So you need to do it when you're strong, when you're fed, your stomach's full, and you're not hungry. So when you're laying there in bed, or the day before your fast, and you're really thinking about it and planning it and getting excited about it, that's when you want to write a letter to yourself, telling yourself all the reasons why you want to do it, all the reasons you don't want to quit, and keep that where you can find it. And let's see, next, this is one of the most important things for me, like I mentioned before about smoking. What helped me finally quit smoking is not allowing myself to think about smoking. And as soon as I would recognize the thought, I would stop the thought and then replace it. If I was thinking about possibly breaking my fast, or thinking about a kind of food that I want, something that sounds good, something that I want to eat, then I would recognize it, know that that's not a good thing to be doing, and that it will lead to me breaking my fast if I allow it to. If I follow that thought, it will lead me to the refrigerator, to the restaurant, or if you're smoking, it will lead you to bumming a cigarette, or to the store to buy a pack of cigarettes. So never allow yourself to dwell on thoughts about the thing that you're supposed to not be doing. Replace it with bunny rabbits. Replace it with doing something else. Just immediately stop it, replace it, and that's it. Next thing is, I wanted to say that this is about self-confidence and gaining self-esteem, because if you are like me and you've struggled with your weight all of your life, and you've gone through all these diets that you've failed, I can look back at my weight, and it's been almost the same my entire adult life, within 10 pounds, because I would lose a few pounds from a diet and then binge, and then try another diet, or try it again and then binge, and end up right back. I never really got anywhere. It was just spinning my wheels, and because of that, I lacked self-confidence. I don't believe that I can, do these things, and I somehow want to keep putting it off to my future self that, oh, right now is difficult because of this reason, but Monday it'll be easier because of this. But it's never going to be easier, because the only way it's ever going to get easier is by building your confidence. And the only way you're going to build your confidence is by accomplishing things and proving to yourself that you can. And like now doing the 7-day, now that I did a 7-day, I'm confident that I can do a 5-day. It's all relative. Like, to a person doing intermittent fasting for 16 hours, that seems like a lot. But to someone who's done a 15-day fast, a 15-hour doesn't sound like anything. So let's see. Next, this is about breaking addiction. So if you think about it like that, it changes from being a yo-yo diet or yo-yo fasting, as Cole would call it, to keeping your mind on track that this is about breaking addiction. This isn't about just fasting for a few days so that I can binge on everything I didn't get and then go back to fasting and then binge, because you're never going to break the addiction. And without breaking the addiction, then you're not going to have long-term results. You're only going to have temporary results. So if you want to fit into a dress for your wedding, then great, this would work, and you would lose the weight, and then you could fit into your dress, but then you'd probably go right back. But if you break the addiction, imagine being able to walk past those foods that you're normally addicted to, like brownies or something, and having it not faze you and not be an issue. Imagine having a buffet of food in front of you at an event or like a family get together or something, and not feeling the urge to binge on it, because it just no longer appeals to you. Like, not overeating, not wanting to overeat, not wanting to binge is no longer an issue, because you have corrected your hormones, because you have broken the addictions. That's the goal, and keep that in mind. That is the goal. And if to break an addiction, the longer you go without it, the more the addiction is broken. So if you go, a certain amount and the addiction starts to break, but then you have the drug again, then it's almost like you're starting over the next time. So, like, if I had only gone 3 days without smoking and somebody offered me a cigarette, I'm going to be much weaker in saying no and resisting than if it's been 3 years. If it's been 3 years, well, then I don't really care anymore. Like, I can see people smoke in front of me, and it just grosses me out. And that is the difference. So you want to think of it as you are building this time and distance away from the addiction, between you and the addiction, getting that space there so that it's no longer an addiction. Okay, next thing is, you don't want to break the fast if you've already come so far, because you're just going to have to start over to get to that place. So day 1 and 2, if you've got through day 1 and 2, you've paid your dues to get to the magic. Like, this is all about the magic. And that's what I tell myself when I'm, in the later days of fasting. Day 3, 4, and 5 is, okay, this is when the magic's happening. This is when the magic's happening. And if I break it now, then, I did all that other work to get here and didn't get as much of the magic as I could have. So day 1 and 2, you've paid your dues to get to the magic zone. And now day 3 and 4, you are burning fat, and if you're in autophagy, which you should be if you haven't touched any proteins, then you are burning damaged proteins, damaged cells in your body, bacteria, viruses, cancer cells, damaged cells, inefficient cells, scar tissue, moles, extra skin, whatever it is. You are starting to now burn through that. Now, if you quit and you eat something and you have to start over, now you're going to have to pay your dues the first and second day again, just to get to the magic zone. So keep that in mind and remind yourself of that when you're wanting to quit. And another part of that is, you only get so much fat to use for autophagy, to be in a state of autophagy. So let's say a person who's already thin but wants to get to autophagy, to get rid of extra skin, or because they're trying to break down a tumor, or whatever it is that they're trying to get rid of with autophagy. If you have all this body fat and you're just doing 1 and 2 day fasts and you're never taking advantage of autophagy, then you're not doing cellular cleaning. You're not cleaning out your body and getting rid of that damaged stuff that you could be. So once you run out of fat and you want to get into autophagy, you're going to have to eat to gain weight to be able to do it again. So autophagy is magic to me, and you want to take advantage of it. So do those longer fasts. I try to do at least 4 or 5 day fasts, if not 6 and 7. Okay, the next thing was planning an event. And if you plan something to look forward to, like a concert, like an event where maybe there's going to be people there that you haven't seen in a long time, maybe somebody you want to impress, maybe there's going to be haters, or summer's coming up, plan going to buy your bikini, put that on your calendar. That's an event. Okay, I've got 2 weeks until I'm going to do this thing, then another event, as many events as you can put on your calendar as possible, because for each event, you have something next to look forward to. It also could be doing a run, like some sort of a fitness event. A vacation, and then go out and prepare for that and buy the clothes for it, which is really fun. Okay, next are tools. A calendar, like my calendar here, the days that I fast, I have them a green circle with day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then a red for the refeed, and then back to the next. And then I put the weight for each day so that you can keep track of that. You can use Instagram like I'm using, which is waterfast_April, waterfast_girl, or snakefast_April. Either one, you can find me there. And there are fast tracking apps, if you haven't already seen them, that you can download. I use Bora, I think it's called. I like that one. There's weight trackers if you want, but I just use my calendar on my wall. And then those accountability posts are important. Now, I don't use the accountability posts in the snake diet pages because I'm using my Instagram, and that seems to work better for me. I know every day I have to go post on there, and there's now 100 and something followers, and they're watching me whether I'm going to do what I'm supposed to or not. And that is a really powerful thing. That's why Cole does those accountability posts, because once it's out there, you almost want to redeem yourself, or your once you've put those horrible pictures of yourself, you don't want that to be how it's left. And you don't want to go every day and say, oh, well, I failed again. You want to prove not just to yourself, but to whoever's watching you. And also, these people might be motivated by you. Having people messaging me saying, wow, that really motivated me, and now I'm continuing my fast, or I'm just getting into this. And so you want to help people as well. Okay, so controlling your environment. One of the things I forgot to mention in the other video was controlling what you're seeing on social media and the internet as well, because a lot of people I follow are keto people, and keto people are notorious for posting keto recipes, and so it's hard for me to scroll through my feed and see all of this delicious food. So you want to try to avoid that. Unfollow people for a while if you have to, or stay off your feed. And then in your home, don't be afraid to be direct with your family and say, I'm doing this fast. There's certain things that make me weak, or that I can't be around. I need to not have these things in the house right now. and I need your support with that. And this is what's being done. And make sure you yourself get things out of your house. Like, try to control your environment as much as possible, because the more you control it, then the more success you're going to have. And part of the reason why that is that this is so hard, even though we're supposed to do it and it's natural, is because when we used to do it, there wasn't food around. That's why we didn't eat. And so it takes extra self-discipline in this world to do what we're doing for so many reasons. One, because there's advertising everywhere. It's all over the place, because now we have refrigerators. It's in our house anytime we want it. We have cupboards full of food. We have not only that, but access to this like food that's been messed with to be like so super appealing. It's not like we're just walking out and picking up some greens and having to eat a squirrel. This is like drug food. We have drug food everywhere. We see it everywhere, and it's readily available. So we are defying nature in doing what we're doing, and that takes a lot of mind control and practice and self-discipline and trying to control our environment. So it's okay to try to control your environment, because you wouldn't throw an alcoholic into a bar and then blame them if they drank. What you're doing is hard, and you deserve credit for how hard that is, and you deserve to be able to remove things from your environment without being told that you are weak and that you need to control yourself. Because if someone says you need to control yourself, well, good, I am controlling myself. I'm controlling myself by removing these things from my environment. Okay, so reminding yourself that the food will be there later. That one helps me a lot. If I tell myself, I know this food's going to be here whenever I'm done. If I really want it then it will be there, and it's not going anywhere. That kind of helps. I don't know why, but it does. Another thing is replacing the addiction. So if the addiction was to eat all day, now you have to have a new addiction. And so I'm making fasting my new addiction. It's what I'm thinking about. It's what I'm focusing on. I plan for it. I make my videos about it. I make my posts about it. I track my weight. I'm tracking my ketones. All of that is something new to redirect your energy and focus towards. Watch videos of other people. There's a lot of great people out there. Watch Cole's videos. Even if you don't necessarily like Cole immediately, you probably will if you watch his videos, because even if he's being obnoxious, that's getting attention for the movement and getting through to people who can't really focus anymore. But what he's saying is very true. And if you can't watch Cole's videos because you don't want to hear the truth yet, then try watching other people's videos. Sasha is a really great person, which you probably already seen these people, but if you haven't, Sasha is great. I like her. She's the person I go to the most to watch her videos. I rewatch them because they inspire me. Yeah, and if you're thinking about fasting as what you're losing instead of what you have to gain, then it's not going to go as well. If you're excited about it and you're like, yeah, I'm fasting, I'm doing this thing, this is, self-care, this is how I care for myself. Self-discipline is self-care. Self-discipline is self-love. And if you get really into that and excited about it, and you will start to see results. And when you start to see results, then you'll start to get more excited. And it's just this constant feedback loop of what I am gaining. I am gaining a healthier body. I'm gaining not having to stress and worry that I could have cancer right now, that I could, that I'm getting sick, that I'm not going to be healthy for my son. I'm not having to think about that anymore as much. I'm thinking about I'm gaining health, I'm going to look good, I'm taking care of myself, my life is going in a better place, and quit worrying about the food you're losing out on and think about what you have to gain. Okay. So one of the reasons I kept failing is I wasn't committed. I would just say, oh, I'm going to try this out. I'm going to try and do a 4 or 5 day and see how it goes. well, then I'm giving myself a way out. And I'm notorious for that, for not committing to things. I think my phone's about to die, so I'm going to talk while I plug it in. But I am notorious for not committing to things because I didn't want to fail. And then it would just allow me to fail. But this last time around when I did the 7-day, I decided that I wasn't going to fail. I wasn't going to stop anytime before, that I absolutely had to finish that 7-day to prove to myself that I could, to show myself that I could. And quitting was not an option. Anytime I started to think about it, I would remember, oh yeah, it's not an option. I'm not quitting this time. So committing was essential for me. Hold on, let me grab my paper. Sorry, people. Okay. Yeah, this is a mental game. It really is. It's all about your mind. And each time you do it, know that you're getting better at it and that you're going to get stronger. And that's one of the great things about this, is about fasting, is it's no longer like failing. Like, you can refeed, but then you can go right back to it. And know that each time you do it, you've helped your body and you've helped your mind get stronger. And it's okay. You just go back to it again the next time. So there's no falling off the wagon. It's just feeding and refeeding. And that's it. And if you think of refeeding as part of the fast, I think I mentioned that in my refeed video, then you're no longer looking forward to the binge. You're no longer thinking fasting, binging. You're thinking, okay, I'm going, like, this is all just one thing in one journey. There isn't, an escape out of it. Okay, exercising. So if you go for a walk or go to the gym, and you're going to see more results, and the more results you see, then, the more motivated you're going to be. And that also keeps you engaged with the fast throughout the day. And then if you really need something, drink some bergamot tea. Bergamot tea helps induce autophagy. It's something to sip on. And if you really need coffee, I guess, you can drink that. I notice that it grosses me out, makes me not feel good. And but caffeine also does help with autophagy, if you want it. But if you're trying to break addictions, then you probably don't. So that's it. That's the conclusions that I came to with my fasting. And I'm still, just in the beginning of this, and still learning as I go, and trying to stick to these as well. It's not completely easy for me. Every time is a struggle, but those things have helped a lot and changed it from repeated 1-day and 2-day fasts to 5 and 7-day fasts. So all right, guys, I'll see you around on Instagram or here, and happy fasting to you. Bye.